What would you do if your own sister weaponized your deepest trauma against you, just to win an argument? In today's story, the protagonist's response is a masterclass in reclaiming her power and protecting her peace. A few days after I left my sister Sophia's wedding early, my dad called to check up on me. He wanted to know if Sophia and I had talked things out yet. When I told him no, he sighed softly. He said it was better if we talked about it now, and he wanted to be perfectly clear about one thing. He assured me that I had nothing to apologize for. In his eyes, if my sister Sophia thought she was blameless, then the absolute least she could do was make her best friend, Jessica, the maid of honor, apologize for that humiliating speech. He felt she needed to fully realize just how far out of line her joke was. My brother, Liam, confirmed this when we met up a few days ago. He told me that my new brother-in-law, Mark, was also furious. He hated the way Jessica had stood up in front of all their friends and family and called me a screw-up. Liam also mentioned that some of the guests who had laughed later admitted they only did so out of sheer, awkward nervousness. Finally, on Monday, Sophia called and asked me to come over to talk, but when I walked into her apartment, my stomach sank. She was on the phone with Jessica, and she didn't hang up, she just put it on speaker. A silent third presence in the room. Sophia started, her tone already defensive. You know, Ava, she began, just a few years ago, you would have laughed your head off at a joke like that. You wouldn't have taken it as some deep insult. I took a breath, trying to stay calm. Maybe some people laughed because they have no idea what she was even talking about. I replied, they don't know the real reason she calls me a screw-up. And there's the context she so conveniently ignores. When I was 16, something traumatic happened. It sent me into a spiral, and I struggled terribly between the ages of 16 and 18. By 17, I was diagnosed with PTSD, which was later joined by diagnoses of depression and anxiety. It left me with scars, one of which is a severe aversion to being touched on my head, especially my hair or the back of my neck. My sister, Sophia, knows every single detail of this, but in her living room, it was clear she wasn't there to listen. She did most of the talking, her words a barrage of justifications and deflections. I had this sinking feeling that she hadn't called me over to understand my perspective at all, but simply to blame me one more time for her wedding day drama. This is where Sophia made a choice that revealed her greatest flaw, her willingness to sacrifice her own sister's well-being on the altar of her own convenience, a flaw that would ultimately cost her a family. As I tried to get a word in, to explain my side, she did something unbelievable. She reached out, placed her hand firmly on the back of my neck, and with each sentence, she pulled my head towards her, a physical punctuation mark as if to say, do you understand? Or okay? A cold dread washed over me, every instinct screamed at me, I hated it, and a hot wave of irritation and panic surged through me. An internal debate raged. If I pushed her hand away, would I be the one in the wrong? Would they just twist it, call me mental, and tell the whole family I got physical? As one commenter so perfectly put it, this was more than enough reason to just go no contact. She knew about the trauma I went through and blatantly weaponized it against me, and that's just disgusting and cruel. I tried to get up and leave, my body buzzing with the need to escape. I have to go, I said, but she blocked my path. No one is leaving, she insisted, not until we sort this out. Finally, she turned to the phone. Jessica, just apologize, she said, her voice strained with impatience, but Jessica refused. She shot back that I was the reason her husband got angry at her on their wedding day, all because I couldn't take a joke. I tried to explain, my voice trembling slightly, if your speech had actually focused on the bride and groom, then maybe he wouldn't have had a reason to be angry, but she just brushed me off. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, she sneered through the phone. For a split second, I felt a flicker of relief that it was finally over. I turned to leave, and just as my hand was on the doorknob, I heard Jessica's voice again, dripping with malice. Can't take a joke that everyone knows is true. Both of them started laughing. Sophia cut her laugh short, a sudden look of panic on her face as she saw mine. Ava, I'm sorry, she stammered, but it was too late. I didn't say a word, I just opened the door and left. Walking away, I felt a strange sense of clarity. I think I've had enough. I know I had a few rough years. I dropped out of college for a while, but I fought my way back. I got my life back on track. My parents were my rocks through it all, never once making me feel like a burden. At first, the medications were strong, making me feel tired and sleepy all the time, But slowly, with therapy and the unwavering support of my family, my parents and my brother, Liam, I started to feel better. During that whole dark period, Sophia was 3 hours away for a job. She'd visit sometimes, often bringing Jessica with her. Looking back now, I don't think she hates me, but I can see that she felt ashamed to have a family member struggling with mental health. It was an inconvenience to her perfect life. If my parents and my brother, who were in the trenches with me every single day, never made me feel ashamed, why should she get to? As another commenter wisely pointed out, there is no natural reason a person would grab you by the back of the neck and pull your head towards them while speaking. She was deliberately using my trauma against me to try and put herself in a position of power. That is vile and disgusting. So, I've made up my mind. I'm going no contact, at least for now. Today, I'm still on some medication, but I feel so much better than before. I have a stable job that I'm good at. I have my own apartment, and I have friends who love me for exactly who I am. I can finally say that I'm proud of myself. I love my family to death, and for years I tried so hard to maintain a relationship with my sister, but I'm trying to improve my life, not be constantly dragged back and reminded of the person I was during my darkest days. This story is a powerful reminder that true strength lies not in enduring abuse, but in recognizing your worth and having the courage to walk away from those who diminish it, even when they share your blood. So I'll ask you, have you ever had to make the difficult choice to cut ties with a family member for your own well-being? And how did you navigate it?